Hey guys, I hope you're having a great one. I was actually looking some things up, and we did a video some time ago on talking about black women in the church and why are there so many black women in the church. And again, I'll preface this again by saying that that's not a bad thing. There's nothing wrong with having a church that's mostly made up of black women, or women period for that matter. My thing is, if that's going to be the case, then I believe that the church should be reclassified as a women's organization, so that it is clear exactly what it is about, and what it's designed for. And that's kind of what our series that we've been doing on this platform has really been about, is really trying to bring some clarity on this institution that we call the church. And the goal of it is ultimately whatever you want to do, with that information is completely up to you. If you want to continue to attend church, then continue to attend it. But at least we are moving about in some truth, when we're dealing with that institution. But today in this video, as I'm out and about here, as you can see, I want to focus on something that I have been talking about in our on our other channel on Samba Journeys, and it was about reading levels. And this isn't a topic that we cannot just simply let just be. You understand what I'm saying? In other words, it can't be something when you hear people talking about reading levels and the importance and its importance in who we are and our development. We can't allow that to be something that just kind of whisk away in our brains and we just scroll to the next thing. Reading is extremely important. It's extremely important because reading allows you to do, amongst many things, but the primary function of reading is that it helps you to make a deeper connection with the information on a psychological level, right? But it also helps you to grasp the entire context of what's being discussed or what's being talked about. There's a video that I was just watching. There was a teacher who was talking about how there are actual policies in schools today where teachers are told only teach excerpts. You don't go through the whole book. So this is something that's starting and has started even in our schools. So this is why people have short attention spans when it comes to videos, when it comes to books and all of that stuff. But anyway, as it pertains to this topic here, what I'm kind of new, but I wanted this to be verified. I wanted to find out who are the top fictional readers in America. And so I already kind of knew the answer, but I wanted to verify it. And sure enough, I looked it up, and yeah, it's black women. Black women are by and large the top fictional readers in the United States. And I found that to be quite interesting because that ties directly to what we've been talking about, the Bible. Now, as I've said many times before, the Bible does contain truths. It does. Just like if you read a fictional book, there's going to be some truths that are contained in that Bible. In that fictional book, true concepts, things that are real, things that are truthful. But do you take a fictional book and make it into your own personal masterclass, if you will, on life? That's really the question. You think about it. Even when you look at a lot of channels that focus on end times or, prophecy being fulfilled and, things of that nature, a lot of it is what if. It's not actually factual. You're taking some facts that are going on, let's say a headline or something like that, and then you're adding a bunch of what if to it. Well, now that's fictional. Now it's fiction. it could be in a body of water or something. It dries up, or maybe it turns a certain color or something like that. Now all of a sudden it's a fulfillment of, you know, some type of prophecy or something like that, or a future event, you know, that they're anticipating, like the destruction of entire countries and nations or things like that. You know, a lot of this stuff is fictional at the end of the day. And and who are the main people who are engaged in this type of, when you look at the viewership of these channels, who are the main people who are watching this stuff and pushing it? It's black women. And I'm talking within the black space, religious space. Sorry, I meant to add this as well as I was editing this video. When you think about who are the main prophets that you'll hear about on YouTube, or just YouTube, let's take that for example. Well, they're actually prophetesses. Hope I'm saying that right. And yeah, it's women, and in many cases it's black women when we're talking about in this black religious space. And what they're doing, when you sit down and actually think about it, they are declaring that something is going to happen, even though it hasn't happened, based on a minimum amount of facts, but they're declaring that something is going to happen. Well, until it happens, it's still fiction. And many times it remains fiction. And so, but a lot of these, if you follow some of these great prophetesses that are out here on social media, I mean, they're batting 0, 0, 0. You know what I mean? In other words, they hardly ever get things right, but they still have a huge black female following. That's how strong this whole fiction thing really is when it comes to our black women, and how much they really, really are attracted to it. Sorry, I had to stop here. I'm parked now. So when you think of the Bible, and if you've been following this platform, we have been looking intensely at the Bible. We've been looking at the people behind the Bible who put the Bible together and all of that. And what we are discovering is that many, if not all, the stories that you'll find in the Bible actually come from stories that are much older than the Bible. And so even in one of our friends in our research group found this right here. This is in the beginning of a copy of the Septuagint, a modern copy, of course. And I found this quote to be quite interesting here. It's telling you right here, as you can see on the screen, that it's fictional. You know, and so a lot of the ancient stories that the Bible is wrapped around are based on fiction. It just is. I mean, we can go through the whole list. I mean, the whole Garden of Eden narrative, that didn't start in the Bible. That came from Egypt. You'll find that in some of the older writings throughout Mesopotamia in terms of creation stories. You know, Jonah and the whale. We did a video on that, where that story, there was another story that predated that. So, and then top it off with the fact that the Septuagint, which is the oldest Bible that we have, was written by the Greeks. And what was one of the things Greeks were known for? Writing their fictional stories. So when you sit back and think about this, it's starting to make even more sense to me why you see so many on what we're talking about on this platform. Why do we see so many black women in the churches? Because this is the other point, is because of the fact that they have a proclivity to fictional stories. And I mean, the facts speak for itself. So when you go into a church on any particular week, what is the preacher talking about? He's taking a story about Jonah and the whale, Daniel and the lion's den, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, Noah, whatever, name the story. And he's just regurgitating it and adding more, whatever, imagination to it. And this is what you see happening over and over again, Sunday after Sunday after Sunday after Sunday. They're just regurgitating ancient fictional stories. So I thought this was just really interesting. You know, I said, wow, this is yet another thing that we see that's making it a little bit clear to us as to why we do see so many black women in the church. I mean, when you think about a lot of the book clubs and stuff like that, a lot of these book clubs are centered around black women, and the books that they're reading are books that are fictional. Again, you do you as far as I'm glad people are reading, but what that does though is that when you are reading primarily just with fictional stories, it's really not moving you forward. It really isn't. Ultimately in life, it's not. It's an enjoyment, right? It's entertainment. But as far as you as an individual in life, you're not moving any forward. You understand? So in other words, the entertainment is just keeping you at bay, right? But as far as developing your mind in the area of sciences, math, economics, I mean, you just go down the list. I mean, fictional stories don't tend to do that. And so this is where, looking at the details of this, it's very important. And so likewise, you can read the Bible all day and all night, but does it actually move you forward as an individual? And that's a whole nother topic in of itself, but I'm trying to keep this short and concise. But yeah, I just thought that was interesting. I know this is going to be something that I'm going to visit again in future videos, because this right here, it really opens a lot of doors to things that we can further investigate so we can better understand who we are and this institution that we call the church. So that's all I have for you. Thank you so much for tuning in. Take care. I'm going to get in the store. You take care. Enjoy the rest of your day.